I really like this Paul Meridian post. It said, "She fucked me because I posted good."
I'm not checking Twitter for that.
You should look at it. It's good.
I, Annie Dirusso, hereby request Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Oftentimes, I walk out of my house and I hear a boy explaining, and that's the Dunkin' right there, and there's the Checkers, and that's the Popeyes to a beautiful girl.
I tweeted that.
You're just tweeting everything that comes to your head.
That has happened to me.
Every single thing that's happened. That has happened oftentimes.
Yes.
Not
Ooh, what's your background? Is that just your wall?
Yeah, well, I'm in Nashville at my friend's house
recording.
Nice. So he just moved into this new house, and this is his living room. It looks like a log cabin vibes.
Yeah,
you know?
that's so nice. Wow,
I know. I feel like I'm on vacation
walls.
up here.
That's
like
so nice.
walls.
I know. I'm like, thank you. It's not even mine. I'm like, yeah, I love it. If y'all hear any, you might hear some drums.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
It'll add to the vibe. How long have you been there for?
I got here on Tuesday, and I'm here till Tuesday. I was supposed to get here Monday, but then I passed out at the gynecologist.
That's been like my like anxious spiral recently, has been like the idea of having to go to the gynecologist and like then that happening to me, because I've been like fixating on like STD testing recently. That's been my fixation.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that it happened to me. I went.
It happens to people.
And I just passed right out on the floor.
Oh my God.
How are you feeling now?
Totally chilling now. Totally chilling
cool.
now. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think they should do that to girls.
Thing done was they were like, I thought was chill because my gyno had been like, yeah, just take like an Advil or two before.
Yeah.
I get there, you're like, guys, I get there, it's it's literally a surgical procedure, but they're so chill about it. Like they're just like up under my skirt. It's happening like 15 minutes in, but they're like taking, pieces of my cervix, whole bunch. They're basically
oh my God.
Wait, what did you have to get done?
It's called a colposcopy, where they just test parts of your cervix to see if anything's like precancerous, which nothing was. Results came back.
Congratulations.
That's good. Thank you. All clear.
Yeah.
Also, she's describing to me in such a crazy way. She's like, I'm gonna put this vinegar smelling liquid in you, then I'm gonna go take between 1 and 4 like little pinches. I'm like, and then I'm gonna put this mustard solution in you to stop the bleeding.
No, I would pass out right then.
Literally.
I haven't been to the gyno since I was 18 or something, because I'm like, I'm just not gonna do that. I don't my thing is that I can't get blood drawn either, and I can't have things inside me unless it's like a penis. I feel like that's fine, but like other than that,
sure,
can't really have anything inside me.
No, sure, I hear that.
Yeah,
that's part of it
freaks
too.
Me the fuck out, yeah. Also, I love the way that you were telling that story with the drums behind you. It just sounded like it was really purposeful, and they're narrating your story.
Yeah, like so bit. Then I got hole punched in the cervix.
And they're like,
yeah, no, it's scary. Also, so many people pass out of the gyno. I'm just like, is there a way that we could get a little bit medicated or something? Like, I don't understand. This is and then I get my results back, and on the thing it says surgical procedure. I'm like, so you're telling me I just wanted to do surgery on a couple Advil? Like, of course I passed out.
Yeah, that's crazy. They didn't put you on anything.
Dude, I know, nothing to numb, nothing at all. It was just and then they were like, you can take Tylenol after.
Oh my God. If I hear the words, you can take Tylenol from a doctor one more time, I'm gonna shoot everyone, I think.
Also, it's I feel like they have to be able, they could probably hold a device to our tummies and then they would know the answer, but they don't want us to have that at all because they need to keep us oppressed. And I think that that's very real and true.
Well, yeah, especially I feel like there's been a lot more stories coming out this year about specifically healthcare for people with a uterus is there's no pain management available. Even when people are getting IUDs put in, I know several people have passed out getting their IUD put in and stuff like that. It's just crazy that you're just expected to go in and just rip it, even in a chiller way than if you're at the dentist. It's
yeah.
I was whoa.
Yeah, I could get that.
Yeah, I saw this recently online of how also if you're a woman and you go to the doctor and you say that you're thinking about getting pregnant or you're like trying to get pregnant, that they give you just so much better medical care, which is crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna start hitting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you
that's
should.
like if you like complain about a symptom and they're like, oh, like you're just like tired, whatever. And then you're like, oh, I'm trying to get pregnant. And then they like frame it in a different way. They actually like give you help.
Good thing to know for
Yeah.
girls all around the world.
For sure.
But thanks for joining the call and talking to
Yeah.
us today. We're super excited to talk to you.
Thanks for having me. Where are y'all?
We're in New York.
We're in New York.
Cool.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Wait, so you grew up in New York, but do you live in Nashville now, or are you back in New York?
No, I'm back in New York now, but I am presently in Nashville.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. Yeah, I found Legs like a year ago when it came out. I think because Eliza McLam posted it on her story, and I was
sick.
I was like, let me tap that. And that song holds such like a cute like it has like such a funny significance to me because it was like right after my like really evil ex and I like broke up, and then I was like, okay, I need like empowering music to like be awesome, and I like was using that song, and then I like reeled in a boy who like everyone loved. So then the lyric where it's like what the everybody
like
wants you, I didn't think you want me, I was always just like
like,
and then
wait,
I DJ'd it at his party, and it was like a whole thing, and I was like, yeah, I fucking casted a spell with this song.
Okay, I have chills. That's amazing. That's my dream for that song.
Yeah, no, I feel like it has that energy, and I feel like it's really important that like girls are making music like that still forever and ever and ever. So I'm like very glad that your music exists in that way and like holds that for people. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the dream. So thanks.
Because I feel like you're kind of within like a phase of like, I feel like for a little bit it stopped being like cool, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of like, oh, this is corny to listen to, like we shouldn't listen to this. But it's kind of like back in a different way now, which I think is really interesting. And I'm like curious to hear your thoughts on that in a little. But I would love to start by just like you talking about just kind of like life pre-music and like pre like social media and stuff, and like how you grew up, just like what life looked like for you, and then like where music came into the picture.
Yeah, I grew up in the Hudson Valley, in the lower Hudson Valley, in a town called Croton on Hudson. It's like a town people basically commute into New York City from. Just like chilling. No one in my family's musical at all. My parents just both had kind of like regular jobs. I hung out with a lot with the kids on my street vibes because both my parents work full time. So I would like hang out at the neighbor's house all day. I have an older brother. I played a lot of sports growing up. I was like really into sports. I played like every sport. I was the last girl in baseball. I refused to switch to softball, but I wasn't that cool because I was bad at it. Like it would have been like it would have been like a really cool statement if I was ripping at baseball, but like I was actually like so bad. It was like not a statement at all. I was like probably hurting the cause. And then I played sports like all through middle school, and then in high school I always like loved to sing, but like no one in my family was musical. Like I really didn't know what it meant. And I really loved in middle school like Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran, right? So I was like learning their covers on guitar and that kind of thing. And that's how I learned the guitar. And then I would do like musicals here and there, but I really was kind of more sporty. And then I auditioned for this chorus in New York City. It was like the Young People's Chorus of New York City. And it would be like 2 or 3 times a week after school. So then I had to quit all my sports. It's kind of like a high school musical moment.
I was just gonna say,
That's pretty much my high school musical moment. And then I started doing this chorus. And then I only did that for like a year or 2 because I wanted to start focusing on like my own music, like writing my own music. And at that point I like worked at this ice cream store called the Blue Pig in after school, and then I would like make my parents drive me to like every open mic in the tri-state area basically, and I just hit a bunch of open mics. And then I didn't really want to go to college, but I went to college in Nashville to study songwriting.
Wait, where'd you go?
Belmont.
You mentioned like growing up listening to like Taylor Swift. I know that you also mentioned this in another like interview of like listening to like One Direction, Paramore, like as inspirations like growing up. I'm curious like if you were a part of their like internet spaces at all, like if you were kind of in that realm, because they did something very interesting culturally, like for pop music.
Yeah.
Like One Direction.
Or just like all
and
of
Taylor
like,
Swift
yeah.
too, like
I
Ed
mean,
Sheeran even.
I was not like I didn't like, my parents are super chill, like they're not guarded, but they were like suspicious of the internet a little bit. So I didn't like even wasn't even allowed to have like an email address until I was like in high school. So I feel like because of that, I wasn't super online in middle school, but I did of course like have my ways. Like, you know, I was like on Wattpad and YouTube. Like those those are my internet spaces that I would rip. YouTube got me into like, I would say like I was kind of like an Anglophile in middle school. I was really into the British YouTubers.
Okay, yeah.
So therefore also really into like the X Factor.
Yes.
And therefore that's where I became like a One Direction fan.
Yeah.
I will say I was one of the chiller One Direction fans of my friends who ran like fan accounts, like Instagram fan accounts, like pretty big ones actually. And fans were like really cool. Like friends who were like really into it. But I was like chill. Like I knew all the music, and but I don't think I ever like went to a concert or anything, but I would watch all the stuff like their Red Nose Day things, you know, like that classic.
I'm curious if I like know any of the fan accounts or like saw them in passing, because I was like super into the One Direction Instagram.
I can't even remember the names of them, but I bet you did. Like they were kind of big fan accounts. Like
that's really funny.
And they were huge fans. Like my friends in middle school were huge Directioners. I though was more like on the Taylor Swift Ed Sheeran wave, but I did like fuck with One Direction.
Yeah, I feel like the experience of like learning how to play guitar from like Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran songs is such a universal like girl experience too, because I remember doing that and just
totally. It was on Ultimate Guitar. Like
yeah.
I was just gonna ask you if you felt like that like fan culture mindset like touched you at all, or like influenced the way you viewed just like pop music.
I mean, I love pop music, and I always have. Like I've always been a pop music fan, like never wavered on it basically my whole life. And I think that the fandoms around pop music are so cool and exciting. Like it's just like cool to see people connect in that way over something that they love. And I don't think that like other genres have that on lock in the exact same way. And that's like there's something about going to a show where people are singing all of the words and like dressing up and doing the whole thing. That is so awesome. Like it's just like it's like cool to let yourself experience things and have fun like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I love going to those kind of shows. I also of course love to go to like a show where people are quiet, and sometimes I'm like I'll go see a band that I really fuck with and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, and I'm like, you know, it's like I know all the words, and it's like an indie band, and I'm like excited. It's like I want to scream this song. Like I'm always screaming this song around my house or whatever. And then you get to the show and everyone's kind of like, and I'm like, I just want to hit it, you know. And I think there's something that's really like more unabashed about those kind of fandoms that are like, it's okay to be a fan of something, you know. It's like it's actually so chill and cool. And I think that the pioneers of that are of course young girls. Like they're the ones who are like ready to be fans of something, and I think it's like so cool. And in a lot of ways I feel like that's also why it's looked down upon by the rest of society, to be like such a fangirl of something. It's like, imagine like caring less about yourself and more about other things that people enjoy. Like I feel like that's the vibe of like some of the fangirls, where it's like they care about like being a part of something, and I feel like are like having less inhibitions than people who are like a little bit like scared to get behind things. Like I think it's so sick to like be a part of something like that.
And it's interesting like the like power behind the young girl being able to do that, because I think like it's interesting that that's like really where fandom like that thrived, like especially with like One Direction and like Taylor Swift and all like those people. Like It was like primarily teenage girls. There is something to that of like just like this interesting, like there's no limits, especially because it was such a thing that like became more prominent through the internet. And I think because there like weren't really limits on what you could do on the internet, it was almost like, oh, like they're not oppressing us here. Like we can do something, you know?
Teenage girls even were like the people who were the first people to get behind like the Beatles. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been like on the front lines of things forever.
Yeah.
And it's like people will like think that something's stupid because teenage girls love it until like it's time for everyone to get behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like like I remember how it was like so cringy to like One Direction or whatever. I remember like my best friends older siblings like really like hating on us. And it just being like so sad because we just like loved One Direction, or like I loved Taylor Swift, and you know I had to catch like flack for that, or like Ed Sheeran, like my brother used to go in on me like about that. But it's like they all still have massive careers, you know. It's just like teenage girls low-key are hitting it. They're finding things, you know, and getting behind it early. Not to say like but I think it's funny how people are so hesitant to like anything that teenage girls like and find it cool, you know?
Yeah. And I also what you were saying, like that reminds me of just like the phenomena that like occurred around Justin Bieber because like there was such like a like people calling him the F slur and like boys specifically putting him down so hard. It was so sad because he was so young when he started. Like I feel like that like fucked him up for his entire life. Like I just found that such like I don't know. It was just like very interesting to witness. Like even if you like were at school and like you would talk about Justin Bieber and it was like this like it was just so associated with like girlhood.
And it's like not cool to like it or like engage with it. You know, it'd be like to be cool, you'd be like, oh, I don't even like that shit. Like I don't even like, I don't even like Justin Bieber or One Direction. And it's like it's okay to like that.
Wonder how that's like impacting us now, like because I'm sure it's still going on just in a more silent way.
I mean, it definitely is still the case, but it also is just like it's like a cool thing, like Brittany said in the beginning, to like pop again, and like a cool thing to like girls in pop. But then also like obviously like someone like Grace Abrams gets like so much hate, so it's like a
thing. Which is always like I just feel like it's like low-key always going to be the case for something that like the primary fan base is teenage girls, but a lot of time the primary fan base of something is at first going to be teenage girls because that who is like willing to like get behind something, you know, and like think it's cool to like publicly like something. And you know,
I feel like this is kind of the case just for like indie pop and like they're like being a sort of like resurgence in it being like cool again. Like I'm curious how you've seen that sentiment change over time, but also like how that relates to like the reception of your music at all.
I've been releasing music for like 5 years or something, but kind of slow going with it. Like I would just release a couple songs a year for the first few years, and I just have like 2 projects out, like 1 EP and my first album. And I do feel like I'm being the most well received right now, but I do think that's also has to do with me having just put out like my first record. So it's hard for me to say like whether it has to do with like the resurgence of pop music or specifically like lyrically straightforward music driven but I guess like it's aligned nicely, and it's hard to say like what is like what's causing what, like maybe like you know, like is it the music being made, or is that like making the music being made that way, because that's just where taste is moving. I don't really know, but I feel incredibly lucky for the reception. Like I just got off like a 3-month long tour, and it was my headline tour for the record, and I was kind of like, I don't know if people are gonna know. I've never released that many songs at once. I'm like, I don't know if people are gonna know these. I've been touring for a few years, and I toured on my singles, did a headline tour on that, and I did a tour on my EP. And I feel very lucky that people will come to the shows and they'll be like ripping all the lyrics. Like they're singing.
Yeah, that's super
they're cool
sweet.
as fuck.
Yeah.
All like in their little outfits, and they'll dress like the band or whatever. And they're just like ready to be there and be a part of something. And I feel like that part of it is more, I think, comes honestly from some of my online presence, but also in the way that I've been able to connect with fans online over the years, but also just like people who, you know, were fans of pop music growing up and that kind of thing, who were ready to show up and be a part of something in that way, I think is like so cool. And I feel very lucky that that's like the space that my shows to live in, at least so far. So I think that that's been like really
okay, yeah, right, yeah,
they agree.
I think that it's been a really cool reception.
I was gonna ask about like, yeah, just like your online presence, and like also just the factor that TikTok's played in all of it, of like also just like the resurgence of pop music, and like that resurgence of like lyrics that are just like very, like you said, like straightforward and honest, but like in this way where it is like you're like, oh, like no one else is thinking that, and then someone comes out with a song and you're like, oh, actually everyone is thinking that. And I feel like TikTok's also just done that with people like saying story times and then thinking that no one has experienced that besides you.
Like sharing their inner thoughts.
Yeah, like their inner monologues. I'm curious just like how like, or just like the online, like, because I know like a couple of your songs just went viral, and like just like kind of the online reaction to your music, and like how you feel like that's impacted you. And also just like, do you feel like that, like you see that in like the shows that you were playing with like the people there?
I mean, definitely. I think that's something like you kind of hit it right on the head. Like there is something similar about, I think my favorite compliment is when someone will say to me, oh, I feel like I ghost wrote this song with my journal or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it'll be something that I thought, and that only started happening to me when I started posting these songs on the internet, like in 2020. And it would be something I thought would be so insanely specific, like no one could possibly relate. And then people be like, this exact thing happened to me July. I was 22 years old, and like the, you know, like, yeah, like, oh my God. And I've had so many instances like that. And then I agree, when I first like started to go on TikTok, like in 2020 during COVID, I'd see things like videos and just be like, damn, it's all about the, like the universality of the human experience is so cool to me. And I think that that is something that I found you can find in so many ways, but like TikTok really, and the internet in general, like really makes that clear. And so does music. That's my favorite thing, is to listen to a song and be like, fuck, I felt this exact way, and I've either couldn't put it into words, or I'm like, I was too scared to say it. I've heard anything go like cray viral, which obviously I wish I had.
But your stuff is definitely like blown up as like an entity on TikTok, kind of.
Yeah, like coming soon, my older song had like some stuff on TikTok, and then this song called 9 Months both had like some moments on TikTok. I think maybe a perfect level, because I think sometimes when stuff like really blows up on TikTok, like a sound or something, it just like gets completely dissociated from. I feel like maybe I hit it in a lucky way where I already was like had a band and was playing shows and like had been releasing music. I had like a couple, like 2 or 3 songs up by the time like something took off on TikTok. And I think people were able to like put like a face to a name and make like an artist association rather than it just being like this sound. Especially because some of the videos that took off would just be like me playing it or something like that. The 9 Months thing was more of like a sound-based one where people would like use the first verse for like their New Year's transitions. But it's even interesting to see, like, I feel like coming soon, people really associate with me as an artist because that's probably how they saw it, was like my specific videos of it. But 9 Months is a song that I might be opening for someone and I'll play that song and people will be like, oh, that's you? You know, like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I do feel like in a lucky place with how it hit people, because it never went so crazy, but it was like enough to, when COVID started chilling out and shows were back up, like I opened for Samia on tour. That was like my first touring, full band touring. And then the next tour I went on, I was able to do like my own headline tour and like have people come out to shows. So basically based off of the fan base I had grown online during the pandemic. I feel like now it has translated like a little bit more offline. Like, and look, I wish it was online. Nobody watches my TikToks anymore. It's like they're just not hitting. And
no, they're so funny. Like when I was researching you, I was just like, oh my god, these are so like 2021 coded. Like they like reminded me so much of just like pandemic era. And
I know the TikToks. My TikToks that went viral were like so like I don't know. Like,
yeah.
They were whatever at the time. Like I'm happy I was cooking like that, but yeah, it's like kind of funny. It's like now I feel like if articles, like sometimes articles will hit like even with the album, like, and keep in mind like nothing from the album had like any, like maybe Legs, like people made videos with, but like nothing had like any real success on TikTok. People will like write up the album and be like indie rock artist and TikTok sensation. It's like, I'm literally chill with you saying that if it were true. Like, at least give me like some kind of viral video. You're gonna hit me with the TikTok thing. Like I actually don't even care. I just wish that there was some truth behind it. But yeah, I feel like I've been very lucky for it to have just actually translated into like more of a traditional music career in some senses, where I'm like touring and making albums, which I don't always feel like has been the case with people who have had success on TikTok.
Yeah. It's interesting that like that happens in journalism also, just the like labeling as that when like you just have like some videos that like blew up, because I don't know.
It's like I don't even like, I wish that I was a TikTok please, I wish that was true. It's just like not the,
like maybe some of that's like just older writers not understanding the concept of like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it did like boost your music discoverability and stuff, and like went hand in hand with your growth a lot, but it's like it makes it sound like you're like kind of like an Addison Rae type.
Which again, I wish I was. Like it would be so cool. But like I had TikTok success on like 2 songs in 2021 or something, which absolutely rocked, and I'm very grateful for. But it even wasn't like anything that viral. Like it was like it was so low grade that it's like just set me up to be able to do my first headline tour in like 200 cap rooms, you know, which was amazing. It was like the best. Like I feel so grateful for it. Like I actually feel like it hit kind of the exact right amount for me, and now I can kind of just rip making music and playing shows, which is the dream. So it's cool.
I like your use of the word rip, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm obviously like I'm in Nashville with a bunch of the guys who used to play in my band who are like, you know, in their, you know, like early 20s. So I'm like, rip, chop. My vocab is just like,
That's really sweet. Funny. Ask also, like, do you feel like for you in your music career there was like really a moment where it got serious, or like it just like seemed to all like pivot in a way? Because I'm curious just like how you like what your growth felt like from your perspective.
Like if there was a specific moment where I'm like, wow, I'm really doing this.
Or if it's just been like gradual, and like even just like what that has felt like to be able to like do that, because like you said growing up you like that was just like something you always wanted to do. So
like, and also because I feel like that is a really unique experience of just like being in COVID and then coming out of COVID and like touring for like with really big artists, and then like having your like headlining a tour, like that's like a crazy, I feel like, experience that not a lot of artists have.
Yeah, I feel like it's been very lucky and also gradual, and in some ways very natural. Like I basically graduated college in December 2021. And I started to see like the success online in 2020. It's my junior year, and I feel like if school was still in session, because at that point that's when I like signed with like agents for touring and stuff like that, and management. Like I think that maybe I probably would have tried to drop out and start touring pretty immediately, but I didn't, because it was like COVID, so I was just on Zoom, which was kind of perfect in a way, and I was able to, you know, finish out school. And my last semester of school, I went on this one tour where I was just opening acoustic, and it was like for 3 weeks. It's my first tour. And I almost failed out that last semester because like my school had such strict rules about like being in class, but I was able to skate by and then kind of finish out my last semester of school. And that was December. And then January, I did my first full band like North American tour with Samia. So it almost felt like I was just like starting my job or something, or you know what I'm saying, like starting my post-grad job, or even starting the next semester of school. Like it was just like there wasn't this like it just like was so lucky timing wise. There wasn't this huge gap of like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I need to find a job here, whatever. Like and I was making, at that point I wasn't signed or anything, so I was making enough-ish off streaming a month for however like my expenses as a 20-year-old, you know. So it's like that was chilling. And then I did the Samia tour, then I did South by, and I signed my first like distribution deal, and then just went on my first headline tour. And none of it like it was definitely crazy. I think it was crazy when I first saw success online, and then I was taking all of a sudden like a bunch of meetings with a bunch of labels, you know, and that was like just silly. Like it was just like at the time I was like so like I know like now like that was so silly. And it was like when they were like just signing every TikTok thing, these major labels. And I felt really lucky to have gone to school for like music business in some ways to kind of like I was able to understand the conversations I was having, and also understand that I did not want to sign a record deal like that. And I think because of that, like that was another way I was kind of able to avoid like maybe the TikTok artist wave. But yeah, it feels like it's been like a pretty gradual climb. I don't think that like I think there's totally moments still, and have been so many moments where I don't ever feel like, wow, I am so doing this, you know, like I think a lot of the time I'm like, what, like am I doing this? But it's like, yeah, I guess I am. I just keep doing it, which is very lucky. But yeah, I did that first headline tour. Then I got to open for like everyone, I like so many of my favorite artists like Samia and Haim and Biba Doobie and Declan McKenna and like Briston Maroney and
all the indie greats.
Yeah, literally.
I know, it was like everyone who was like, I made a list when I first like signed with my manager or whatever. That was like,
that's
these are my dream artists to open for it. It was like I got to hit like all of them, which was like the coolest thing ever. And then I released my EP, and I did another headline tour for that. But like in New York, it's like my first headline tour I played Babies. And then my second headline tour I played Music Hall of Williamsburg. And then I just on my third headline tour played Webster Hall, which is like my dream venue from childhood. And so it feels like it's been this like very just like normal, like, okay, I played this club, and then you play the next club, and then you play the next club. And I will say, I do think, and I didn't think this would be a thing because, you know, with streaming, people have moved away from like the traditional sense of releasing albums. And it's like more single based or EPs and stuff. And I had kind of like, I feel like a formative experience the year that I took off to write my record. So like after that EP tour, I took off like, I guess 6 to 8 months just to like write and record my first record. And I feel like I really came back to myself because I was touring for like 2 years, and I just like lost all sense of routine. And like, of course it's hard to maintain normal relationships when you're not seeing people all the time. And I just was like back in my house living with my roommates in Nashville and writing, and I like fell in love with writing music again, which was awesome, and in a way that maybe I never had been. And the process of recording it felt so natural, like everything about it just like, and I was always like the kind of late to release my debut record, you know, at that point. Like it was kind of crazy that I had only had like less than 10 songs out for like years of touring, you know. So that year was like very grounding, and I feel like my priorities shifted a lot about like what was important to me. And then I was able to go back on the road after that, and I did like one last tour before I released the record. I guess I did 2, but like one last headline. I did a co-headline with Caleb Heron, the comedian. And that was like the coolest thing ever, to be able to be part of a show that wasn't just music every night. We'd have like a drag queen and then a local comic, and then Caleb would do a set, and then we would play. And that was like so formative to me about just what I'm saying of like, it's okay for things to be fun, and it's okay to like lean into the fun of a project, rather than like, I think I would always be like upset when people would be like, oh, your show is so fun. I'd be like, oh, was it anything else? And when I was on that tour, Kayla was like, wait, it's actually such an incredible thing to be able to create like a fun night for people and like kind of lean into that. And I do think I just became a lot more clear and about what I wanted to do and what I was good at versus what was cool or something, you know? And then made the record, and then I started touring again. And when the record came out, I didn't expect to feel any different. I've been releasing music for 5 years or whatever. And I felt so different. Like that was a moment, and I'm still kind of feeling that now. Where I'm like, wait, why am I low-key like a real artist? Like I just like, I'm kind of like, whoa. That was a moment where I was kind of feeling like, okay, yeah, I'm an artist with a record out who gets to tour that record. And that was really, and at venues that I always wanted to play. And so I feel like this last few months has kind of been that for me. Just kind of having a record out is sick.
That's such a beautiful awesome. Like story. Like wanting something since they were little and then getting it, and like what that looks like to actually get the thing. I also thought what you said was interesting about like when you were talking about just like knowing that you didn't want to sign with like a label.
So I am with a label for the record. I didn't want to sign with the label when things like first started taking off, you know, because it's like the deals that they're offering when you like, I didn't even have anything to give them at that point. I was writing like so few songs. And then to lock myself into like a 3-album deal with this, and to me the money that they were like offering when I was 20, I was like, oh my God, you know. But like now I see that like in the span of years they're talking about, I would have been so fucked, you know?
That's such a like I feel like when you're like 20 you're so young, and like going into like a meeting and like hearing that's like cool that you like knew like that you didn't want to do that and just like had that grasp. I feel like
I think it was really helpful to me. I had great people around me, like, and also having studied it, I was kind of like a little bit more in the know of what it meant, and just like straight up weary of what was going to go on. But I was like, of course, charmed and excited by people like being interested and offering me any kind of money. But honestly, I was just really frightened because I didn't have that much to give at that point. And it was like, okay, you're basing this off of like a low grade virality that you can't just recreate that. Like, you don't know. It's like so fleeting. And so is songwriting, honestly. So it's like both of these things are really fleeting, and you're making this like 10-year-long commitment based on that is a little bit freaky at the age of 20. You know, I'd still be in those deals. I had signed those, which is like insanely frightening.
That's psychotic. Well, also just like interesting what you said of like them just trying to sign every like kind of like viral TikTok thing at the time is this is scary because it's like obviously like we all know that the music industry is fucked, but like what has like changed about it, it's just like never gonna be the same after. But I mean, it's also just like taking advantage in different ways. Like it's not like anything changed that insanely. I think it's just more about like the actual like landscape and like what is different now and like music discovery and stuff like that. And
I mean, I think it's like so cool that people were able to find my music, like, and that without like I didn't know anyone in music or anything like that, like I was able to find a fan base. And I think that's the thing that I feel most lucky about. Like I think it's unbelievable that on social media people can all connect over an artist or a song that they love, and you can literally build a real fan base, and they'll come buy tickets to your next tour and like be part of it. But I do think, of course, like the thing that most people think about is like, oh, I could get signed, like, or someone could get signed from this. And it's like, that's not the cool thing about it. Like, it's like, getting signed doesn't get, like, that just gets you signed. Like, it doesn't get you to be able to play shows that are, there are people there, get people to listen to your music. It literally just like means that these people signed you and maybe gave you some money and by someone else's standards too.
Yeah. Well, it's also, though, like, it's also really impressive because I think a lot of the time with TikTok, like, it doesn't seem like streams always translate a ton to, like, an actual fan base. So it's, like, cool that you were able to do that, because I think that, like, with a lot of, like, TikTok famous music, I don't really see that, like, sticking as much, like, especially with just, like, singular, like, viral songs and stuff.
Like, I think that's why the low grade thing was kind of the vibe for me, because I didn't like, I feel like that is very common. Like, you could have something like really take off on TikTok and then like not really build a real fan base off of that. But I think because like a few things hit at once and not very strong either, like it was just kind of real ones.
Able to like make that association between like you and the music. I'm also curious of like what you said about how you used to like not take it as like a compliment when people would say that your shows are fun, and like how that's changed now. And I'm curious if you feel like that's like there's like this like weird subconscious thing of like maybe not being taken seriously, or like fearing that you're not being taken seriously, and like if that's where that comes from, especially just like being a girl in music, if you feel like that's part of it, and like it's like, oh, like a man like calling your show fun.
I mean, it's for sure part of that. I would say, like, and it is a fear of being taken seriously, because, you know, a lot of my songs are kind of serious, but I feel like I do always intentionally or unintentionally inject some humor into it. Like, there's kind of a dark humor to a lot of it. And I think that, I mean, I was in Nashville for a long time, but I think this is kind of everywhere. I feel like within specific indie scenes, there's this like really precious vibe around things being serious. And like, I get that. I like feel the same way sometimes. I want to go to a concert and like get like punched in the gut, you know? I think because that's what I even liked, and I felt like maybe the scene around me valued, it was like kind of mortifying to me that that wasn't what I was able to create. Or not even mortifying, just like uncomfortable and kind of like bit of this disconnect, because I wasn't like in line with what I was doing, to be honest. And I think that when I first started making music, there's real fun to it. Like, ever since I first started performing live with the band, there's a choreographed dance in my songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all very bitty. I had all of my whole band in matching outfits. Like, I started to get super insecure of that, whether that's like, you know, the like different guys in Nashville and the way that they regarded my project, or my lyrics. My lyrics can get like funny. They can also get hypersexual in a way that I don't know has been like appreciated by the indie men of Nashville, Tennessee. But like, I think that what happened when I went on that tour with Caleb, and as I was making the record, was like, oh, that's okay, because those have never been the people who are going to show up at my shows and like my music. And at a certain point, like, so many of my best friends who play in my band, when they're like, you know, awesome, cool, amazing indie boys here, and they were all in my band, and you know, then the guys would show up to my shows to like, because my band, it's like, wait, I don't need these guys in my shows. They are no fun. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. They don't know the words. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's not what this is about. And I think that when I went on the tour with Caleb, and I was like, it was, you know, such a, you know, there's such distinct darkness around right now, and there was at the time when we were on that tour. It was so cool to be able to like have people in that room having like a genuinely good time. And it was set up for that, right? Like, the drag queen would get everyone so excited, people are dancing, and then the 2 comedy sets would be like everyone is just laughing, like we're creating this more of an evening than like just like a show.
It's an interesting thing when you like, I think that people like putting people in a room together and sitting them down for something that they like kind of have to focus on more so like with the comedy, I think does something to people's brains where it like kind of makes them more present in a room and then like can enjoy the actual like art so much more. Because I feel like also just like getting people to laugh is a really special thing, because I feel like just like in like to isolate it down like really simply, like when you meet someone, like if you guys just like laugh together and feel like you like are actually bonded before like then doing something else, it just like helps so much with like just like feeling close and feeling comfortable in a room. I find the like comedy and music thing like together really fascinating because I think like it just does something to people's heads in a good way.
It was like the best thing I've ever done. Like I'll always look back on that tour with such like so fondly. And also like obviously like Caleb is, I think, the funniest person alive, so it was like the best possible scenario for me to get to. I was like, I would be crying watching his set.
I like also saw in an interview with the New Yorker that you said that like a lot of people assume your songs are gay or focused on girls, and I thought that was really interesting when like even when like in your songs the pronouns are literally like about boys. Like the songs are about boys.
For sure. Yeah, it's like I'm he, himing.
Yeah, and they're not,
doesn't make
and
a
they're
difference.
like gay song. It's gay.
To be fair, I am queer, so like
yeah,
and I think that like I can't remember exactly what I said in the New Yorker. I did like that was like kind of like the person who interviewed me, Amanda Petrusik, is I think like the most seasoned journalist who's ever interviewed me. She's amazing. I was saying everything and anything. I was like just putting it all out there.
Yeah.
I literally was like dead at some of the quotes from that one. The like that was like the biggest like kind of publication I've been interviewed in, and they have a fact checker call you.
Whoa, interesting.
And so I was in the van on tour, and it's like, okay, my publicist was like, the New Yorker fact checker is going to call you. I forget what his name was. His name was like Zach or something or whatever. And he was like this older guy, and he's like, so just confirming, and it wasn't so that you could be like, oh, I don't want to say that. It was like, did you say that or didn't you?
Yeah.
But like also like it was recorded. So it's like, yeah, I said that. Like I would just be like, so just checking, you said that your dad and mom listen to your music, and your dad will be like, your mom will be like, oh, that's about her giving head. I'm like, yes, I said that. Oh yeah, I said that. And so I was just like, damn. And like it was like an amazing piece. So but I
no, the piece is so good.
I hit the info hard on that one. But yeah, that is kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, like, do you feel like that's definitive of something culturally, like in terms of just like how people group things together now, especially just like online, the like I feel like specifically on TikTok, how to like
I get what you're saying. I do think that people are like really quick to label things and like really have this need to do so.
Yeah.
And like maybe so like some of my songs are probably gay songs, and some of my music probably is sad girl indie music. Do you know what I'm saying? But like people have this like distinct need to like label things or even promote it under the guise of like this being blank or this being blank, and it's like, damn, what if it's just a song, you know? Like and like it's not like only sad or only gay or only whatever, like it's just like a song.
It really reminded me, like reading that reminded me of like in college we had this friend group who was very queer and very like there weren't a lot of straight people in the friend group, and I remember like my friends constantly being like, you're bi, no, you're bi, and like it gave the same energy as that to me, because it's just like interesting, because it's like it's interesting seeing people kind of like want you to be that, because it's just like
I will say, like, I actually totally get that, and I do think that like for a little bit, like I think I first of all have always known I was queer, but I think for a while like it was annoying me that people would like put that on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, and it almost was like I didn't want people to know me better than I know myself, you know. And then y'all were right.
Like, surprise,
you got me.
Surprise, you got me. Surprise, you got me. Like, it is kind of funny now where I'm kind of like, yeah, I was maybe saying it with my music more than I was saying it, you know, in real life. And yeah, now it turns out like, oh, for sure. Like, you know, like, but I do think it's funny that people kind of clocked it before I was ready to be clocked.
Yeah.
And I do, which is, it's just, it was kind of funny to me. And I was always like, even now I'm kind of like, how did y'all know? Like, just, what was it about? Like, because I was really, especially in my early music, like hitting like a song called Jonathan. Someone tell me how y'all knew.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like the lines are also more blurred now, where it's like you can't as easily just like clock something as gay because like people are just like cool. Now people are cool and they like, you know what I mean? They fit into those tropes really easily, and like I don't know, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, it also, that was like just reminding me too of like the thing of like people like wanting someone to like be like people like being like you're bisexual, like no, you're bisexual, or like pushing that on you or wanting that for you, of like even just like with celebrities, like with like One Direction, like wanting like all of them to be gay for each other, and like
like
Taylor
Larry
Swift,
Stylinson,
or like
Taylor
even,
and
like,
Carly Kloss. It is interesting. It's actually so people like really have those things. I never was like hitting Larry Stylinson hard or like the Taylor Swift.
I was hitting Cameron from Fifth Harmony. I was hitting that.
Wait, who's that?
Camila and Lauren from Fifth Harmony. So on it for them. I like went to their first tour in like Best Buy. Like,
so weird. Yeah, people hit those like mall tours.
Yeah, they did. Oh my god, their mall tours were like actually like visceral.
I want to go on a mall tour for real.
You should do a mall tour. We should
that
bring
should be
back
your next
mall
tour.
tours. We can
I think I should go on a mall tour.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Why don't we do a mall tour?
What if we could like organize it?
Let's do a mall tour.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see you there.
About something that you said earlier too, of like how like writing the album felt very like natural. And because I know I was like reading in other interviews you did that you had like your like party July period, and just like what about it do you think made it feel more natural or easier than like other times you've written?
I had finished this 2 years of touring, and I knew it was time to write my record, which I'd been like kind of scared of my whole life because writing's always been challenging for me, like very rewarding but also very challenging. Like I wouldn't ever have said like it's something that really comes that naturally to me. And when I got home, I was like, I'm just not even gonna try to write, because I would do this thing where I'd like come home from tour and I'd immediately like hold myself up in my room and try to write, and I'd get so depressed. And I'd have nothing to write about. Because like I had just like been so detached from reality for so long. In Nashville, like I was just like, I was partying. That's what Party July is about. Like I was just like, but I was more than just partying. Like I was just like saying yes to doing things and hanging out with people and, you know, whatever, like going on dates, like doing whatever I would be actually doing at 23. And if I wasn't on the road. And then immediately it was like, oh, I actually have some stuff to say. So I wrote like 3 of the songs from the record within Party July. And then I feel like a lot of it actually just like touches the rest of the record. But I Am the Deer, Wearing Pants, Skin and Legs, I wrote within like just a couple days of each other. Songs were like getting away from me or anything like that. I think recording's always easier if you like the songs. Recording's a lot harder if you're trying to make yourself like something that you didn't like just on the guitar, you know? So yeah, the whole thing was just like natural and happened, I think, when it should have. I think I was insecure about the fact that a lot of people's debut albums are honestly collections of their best songs, their favorite songs they've written over several years. But because I'd waited so long for mine, I had released singles for years, and I honestly wasn't writing that frequently, so I didn't have a bunch of stuff stocked up.
Just your music in general is so like girl coded, female rage charged. We're talking about earlier, which is like music being really important, like for girls, like get kind of like garnering like lessons and like having an outlet to like feel free. Like I'm curious what lessons you think are important for like girls to take away? Because I feel like that like really, to me, that's like the place your music holds, is like it's like this empowerment thing.
Thanks. That's really nice. And it's like, again, it's not something that I like look to do, but I think a lot of times it's like me encouraging myself. Like Legs was such like a me, like it's like a mantra to myself, the chorus of that song. And like encouragement. I feel like the thing that I try to take away from the record, which is like my parting message of it, that I'm struggling with the whole time, is to be present and to like allow yourself to feel things. That's kind of the biggest thing, and that's like something I really struggle with. And that's what the last track on the album, It's Good to Be Hot in the Summer, is all about. But I feel like I'm also touching on it within like Legs. I Am the Deer for sure is about kind of me sabotaging myself, wearing pants again. But I do feel like It's Good to Be Hot in the Summer is me trying to like this one final plea with myself to just like let myself experience things and be where I am, and like not try to either numb it out or like only think in the present. I mean, only think in the future, like to actually like be present, stand in the fire, you know, be where you are. And like really just engage with life. Like that's kind of the message of the record at the end of the day, or like not letting fear run you, like being scared to get hurt. So not even engaging in something good because of that, you know? Or being scared to get upset, so not like taking in something that's happening, you know? Like I think it's important to be present and let things touch you. I feel like that's what is my parting message of the record. And even at the end of it, I think I always feel like that last verse of It's Good to Be Hot in the Summer, because we'd like a double vocal on it, I always feel like it's like me screaming at myself in the mirror almost. And it's like it doesn't really resolve, it's just like still me just telling myself to be like that. And I do feel like that was like, I guess, what I would leave other people with too.
I really like what you said about the lyrics, like to Legs specifically being like a mantra to yourself. Like I think that I feel like that comes through.
Yeah, well, I think that like, of course, like I was like so in this space where I was like, I don't give a shit if we fuck or we date. And like I really believed that when I would put it in the song. And you know, the verses were just things written in my notebook. I wrote that song with my best friend Caroline, my roommate at the time, and my friend Hannah, who had toured with me, Hannah Cole opening. And like I was just like reading lines out from my notebook, and I was like, I don't give a shit if we fuck or date. Like that was my attitude in Party July. But it's like, really like it was something I needed to tell myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was like this thing I was like, that's how I want to feel.
Yeah.
And I think
like
that's what's
fun
about
into your head a little bit.
That's what's fun about writing songs. Like you can tell yourself what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I'm writing it, I might just tell myself what I want to hear. Also, on the other hand, you end up saying a lot of stuff that maybe you wish that you never said out loud. But like, it is like I can in this moment, you know, create my own reality of like, I don't give a shit if we fuck every day. Obviously, in the verses, it becomes clear that because I've written this full song about it, I might give a bit of a shit. But like, it's like, even like when I sing that song, it's like so fun to sing because it's like, yeah, I don't give a shit, you know?
Well, I also like the dichotomy of like your voice feels like very like it like has attitude to it. I feel like that makes sense.
Or that I think that my bitchiness mostly comes out in my music, to be honest. Like, and I think it's fun. Like,
it's very necessary to have something to listen to that encaptures that emotion.
And I know it's like been out for a while, but like I was just gonna ask like what you're working on now and like how you feel moving forward now that you have like your debut album out.
It's interesting because it came out in March, which feels like so long ago, but also like, oh, it's only a few months ago. And I already did the big headline tour for it. But I'm in such a different space than I was in when I was writing the record. If you can hear some sounds from down below, we're working on I'm here working on new music right now and kind of closing.
People are gonna take those drums and like clip them and then they're gonna put them like, together and they're gonna actually have the song.
They're gonna have
this is the song.
No, like we're finishing off the Super Pedestrian chapter, just like finishing the last few songs, like some songs I cut to share and some new features and stuff. And then I'll be like touring this fall. And then honestly, just like I'm in this place. Releasing the album just made me like feel, I think, a little bit more sure of what I'm up to. So I'm just so excited and loving the process of making music, but also loving the process of touring music, and some time just to live life, because, you know, like, and move to New York and everything. I feel like that's been really exciting. So yeah, I'm excited to just keep, hopefully for a long time, getting to make music and play it for people and hang out with my friends, you know?
Yeah.
Wait, did you just move to like the city, or?
So I was subletting with my best friend in Chinatown in January and February.
Okay.
And then I was on tour for 3 months. I like was just gonna sublet for January. It was like, okay, I'm just gonna check it out for a month. And I just like sublet out my room in Nashville for a month. And then as soon as I got there, I was like, I gotta be here. So I kind of did officially move by accident in January. And then this summer I've just been kind of like hopping around different sublet situations in Brooklyn.
It's so funny because we also just moved. So.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a couple months ago from Philly.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're both in Brooklyn now. And we love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm feeling so happy to be there.
It's the best city in the world, and it's the most magical place on earth. It's like Disneyland.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's kind of like Disneyland. Yeah. I feel like a child in Disneyland. Except it's like celebrities instead of like the characters walking around, like the like Mickey Mouse and stuff.
And it's like boys in white t-shirts and
like
on
Twitter,
on Twitter.
They tweet and they're on Twitter and they tweet all the time.
Sounding less and less like Disney by the second.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
This was so fun.
We have our guests do one more thing at the end. It's our little like thing we edit in to the beginning. If you could just read this out loud. We're trying to get this guy, Josh Ovalle, on our podcast. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
We love him though.
He's like an internet guy. It's
Ovalle.
Okay. Yeah. I, Annie DiRusso, hereby request Josh Ovalle for collaboration with the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, Josh, be a guest on the podcast. We miss you.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm like, I hope it's like a good person. Like
he is. Yeah.
No, yeah.